I'll mention this. There were 3 teams in the state title games of the 20 that made me go, whoa. There were 3. Canadian in the 2A Division I game, Katy in the last game, and George Ranch.
Good Lord, George Ranch.
Those were the 3 that I go, whoa.
Those were, I think far and away.
You serious, Clark?
Those were the 3 mean machines. Yeah. I mean, you watch them and you're like, whew.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. But we are going to start with our 3 and outs, which we're going to kind of keep a 50,000-foot view here and talk about our big takeaways from the weekend. And the first one is the H-Town takeover is real, and it has bled into the high school football world.
Oh, man.
3 of the 4 state championships in 6A and 5A go to Houston, with Galena Park North Shore in the 6A Division I title game, with Katy in the 6A Division II title game, and with George Ranch in the 5A Division I title game. So the 3 largest...
The DFWers not handling it well.
DF no
W's?
W?
No W's.
That is lifted from Rick Renner, and I apologize.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Rick came up with it. It was pretty... Actually, it might have been Chris Schneider, the producer.
Either way, I'm glad that we're not attributing that genius to you.
No, it's not. No, I cannot... Regardless of who it is, it ain't me, okay? And here's the thing that I was thinking about. And I know that there are a lot of whiny people on Twitter who are upset that, DFW didn't win any state titles.
Right.
But, hey, well, DFW, it was just a down year for DFW. Let me tell you, if DFW had won 3 of the 4 biggest state titles, all you'd hear was how DFW was the center of the Texas high school football universe.
Yep.
So you know what? Houston is the center of the Texas high school football universe.
Booyah!
And there's no doubt about it. They won 3 of the 4. And if you want to squint and just call it Southeast Texas, you can include West Orange Stark in that.
Yeah.
I mean, they won. They dominated. They dominated. It was 2 emphatic wins and 1 classic in those 3. And I don't think there's any doubt that Houston right now is the center of the Texas high school football universe. It has to be considered that way.
Yep.
So now, can it shift next year? Maybe. But right now, it's H-Town, baby.
Yeah.
H-Town.
H-Town takeover, if you will. It's been the year of H-Town takeover.
The year of the H-Town takeover.
Yeah.
They have the only conference champion, and now they have the 3 of the 4 biggest state champions.
It's a nice hat, by the way.
Thank you.
You're looking sharp.
Thank you. I'm also wearing the shirt.
Ooh.
Actually, the shirt belongs to Frank. So key number, we'll go to second down, our second one. We got to touch on the negative stuff because it's not all sunshine and daffodils, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention the negative stuff. First of all, the injuries.
Good Lord.
It was a terrible year for title game injuries, and not just
depressing.
Not just injuries that happened before that carried on, and it was clear that there were people who weren't right. Yeah. Jet Duffy and Duke Carter from Mansfield Lake Ridge.
Alex Faith
from Albany. Oh my gosh, Franklin linebacker I love. Will Phillips.
Will Phillips. Something was bugging him during that game.
He was gimpy, and I know that everybody's banged up there.
Yeah,
but
it's part of the game.
But it is part of the game, and you know, I was talking with Ryan Rourke from Angleton on Fox Sports Southwest, and we were talking off the air, and he goes, and I said, yeah, that's just it was the day after the Trayon Smith, the running back for Cameron Yo, really did something bad to his leg. We're looking for information on it, but after that, and I said, yeah, that Brock game, it just kind of felt weird after that. And he said, when I became a head coach, the one thing I said I'd never do is apologize for winning. And you know what? None of those teams should apologize for winning.
No,
absolutely not.
No, absolutely not.
But it is a shame that Connor Pingleton, the quarterback for Salina, goes out. Trayon Smith goes out. Yeah. Because for us, from our perspective, all we want is to see the best teams in the state at full strength playing each other. Yeah. And we didn't get that in a number of these games.
Reed Klubnik, Westlake.
Reed Klubnik from Westlake.
Abe
Exactly.
Willows, Lake Travis.
Mm-hmm. There was a number of players that we were missing in these games that it's just a shame that we didn't, And then there were teams like Brock. Brock lost 2 centers, I think. Yeah. And they still won.
Still found a way.
They found a way. So, but in the end, that was just a sad undertone of, oh man, well, we've got here are these teams that aren't full strength. I really wish they would have been.
But I think you're right. Be clear, not to take anything away from the teams that won, because they came out, they did their job. it's not an excuse. It's just sad for everyone because you want to see everyone get that chance on the biggest stage.
May I issue a hot sports opinion?
Uh-oh.
Sound the alarm.
Ba, 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 ba.
The better team won all those games. I don't think there's a game that I look at and I go, oh, the best team didn't win that game. The only one that gives me a little bit of pause is Cameron Yo and Brock.
I was about to say, that's the
it's
only
the
one.
only one that gives me a little bit of pause.
You
but
know,
even then,
I'm not taking anything from Brock.
Even then, we had that at a coin flip type game.
Yeah.
I think maybe that game is a little different, but not a ton different.
No.
And I think that they are a deserving champion. I don't think that I think the injuries are unfortunate, but I think that the better team won. Period.
Sure.
That's just what I'm saying.
I think that's fair.
So we're sticking with the negative stuff, right? And so we've got to talk about the attendance.
Ooh.
Because the attendance, and isn't it funny that we had 44,000 people at the Katy Lake Travis game, 44,000 people at a Texas high school football state championship
well, that
game,
wasn't very good.
and we're like womp womp. It was just the attendance was down. The attendance was down big time. Last year we had about 250,000 fans at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, and this year we had 156,000 fans at NRG Stadium. That's a 40% drop in attendance. And why is that? That's the question everybody wants to know. There's a couple of reasons. One, I think that it is worth mentioning that there were some of the big-time fan bases that we're used to seeing that weren't there. Yeah. Last year, Allen was there. Yep. Last year, Temple was there.
Yep.
Last year, you had these big, crazy fan bases, and wherein you are now replacing those with 4 of the 20 teams were either 6 years or younger. Okay,
yeah.
Frisco Lone Star in their 6th varsity season. Yep. George Ranch and Mansfield Lake Ridge in their 4th varsity season. Yep. Brock in their 2nd varsity season. Yeah. And I understand that Brock's been around for a while, but at the same time, that when you take these big established powerhouses with these huge fan bases and you replace them with new programs, you're going to have a step back. Now, number 2, I also think it's worth mentioning that Houston is not central. Houston is in the southeast corner of the state. Canadian had to travel 600 miles to get there and still showed up. Yeah. But my point is that there is that if you're looking for a more central location, Houston isn't it. It's a big city, absolutely, but it's not it. Yeah. And I think that had something to do with it. And then the one thing that's kind of out there, and I think is worth mentioning as well, I think that AT&T Stadium in Arlington is a destination.
It's a draw.
It's a draw because people want to see that big, stupid thing.
Yeah.
And it's a big, stupid thing.
It is.
But if you could, and Houston NRG Stadium is a beautiful stadium, and we enjoyed being there.
People were great.
The people
couldn't have been better hosts.
In fact, the people, I don't know if you found this, the people who were working at NRG Stadium were like over the top friendly.
Yeah.
They were super nice. It's a great facility, but it doesn't have that big stupid draw like AT&T Stadium in Arlington because it's a destination, I think. So I think that those were the reasons that you saw you saw attendance drop. And let's also bring up the fact, and I'm sure my overlords at Fox will enjoy me saying this, Fox Sports Southwest does such a great job televising the games.
Better every year.
That might be part of it. That it's a lot easier for you to just sit at home and watch all 10 than it is for you to get up and go and sit in the stadium. Yeah. That's part of it, I think. Yeah. So I think it's a confluence of events. I don't know where I talked with Charles Breidup from the UIL and Dr. Susan Elza, my Twitter BFF, the athletic director of the UIL, there, and I said, "Hey, what are you guys thinking for next year?" And they did not tell me anything. Yeah. So if I knew something, I'd tell you. I'm sure I know that there's a lot of things they have to take into account. And it's not just who, quote-unquote, deserves it or who, quote-unquote, should host it. There's a lot of things that have to go into it. But as soon as we know something, we'll pass it along. But for now, that's kind of the negative stuff. But key number 3, all that negative stuff aside, it was still awesome.
It was still awesome.
Still had a ton of fun.
Awesome.
TexasFootball.com/state has all the recaps and all the fun stuff we've got. We shot instant recaps of all the games. We had a really nice setup. That view, I've told you this before. The view kind of looks like we're in front of a green screen sometimes because I think it's just like a really nice kind of over the top setup. But it was it was fun. I'll tell you, I always love state title game weekend. There's nothing like it. The fire that you see from the fans, the games, even though the games I think were largely subpar this year, just because we had a number of blowouts and the injury type thing, but it was still great. Yeah. It was a good time. It was a good time in the press box with the Mafia, hanging out, everybody busting each other's chops.
Yahoos.
Everybody busting each other's chops. It was a good time. I think everybody enjoys state title game weekend. And it was fun. It was good to see old friends make new friends. I got to talk to Kevin Smith, the former West Orange Stark standout, and former Aggie and former Dallas Cowboy, and that was fun. I got to talk with Ryan Rourke. I got to see Jeff Reardon. I got to talk to Don Clayton. I got to talk to a whole lot of guys. It was a lot of fun just being down the field, making new friends. I had people who were yelling at me about that I was the guy on Twitter. Yeah. There were a number of people like, hey, you're the guy on Twitter. It's like, yeah, that's me.
That's me.
That's what I am now.
That is my cross to bear.
I'm the guy on Twitter.
Also, the Argyle tailgate.
Yes! Oh, my gosh. How can we forget? So we are walking in.
Yeah.
We were walking in to NRG Stadium on Friday morning. We're getting there 9:30. About 9:30 we're walking in. Got all our equipment, our video equipment. And the Argyle, and then all of a sudden we hear, hey, Tepper. I'm sure he sounds a lot nicer than that. I just have to differentiate from my stupid voice.
Yeah.
Hey, Tepper. I turn around, and it's the Argyle tailgate. It's the Argyle fans tailgate, and let me tell you, this ain't no charcoal grill out of the back of your Suburban.
Awesome.
Okay, this was a giant buffet griddle thing.
It was amazing.
And they said, "Come on over, let's talk." And so they came over, and they were nice enough to me to say, "Hey, they didn't punch me in the face," which is I feel like a lot of people want to. They didn't punch me in the face, and they offered us breakfast tacos. And let me tell you something, everyone out there. Our loyalty and integrity can absolutely be purchased with breakfast tacos. 100%. There's no doubt about that. If you offer us breakfast tacos, we'll say whatever you want.
You are our new favorite team.
You're our new favorite team. But it was fun to hang out with those guys. Shout out to the Argyle tailgate guys. Shout out to the George Ranch dance team, the Larriettes. They won halftime, and they and their
Lake Ridge dance team's coming for you now.
Yeah, the Lake Ridge dance. I know,
air.
but they did win halftime, and their wonderful their wonderful advisor, Miss O'Haver, came by, and I got a selfie with her. It was fun. It was a fun weekend.
Thank you to everyone. I don't know about you, but I ran into tons of people who are like, I listened to DCTF Live. I watched DCTF Live.
Man, that was weird. I got to tell you.
Awesome.
So we are Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and pretty much for the purposes of the show, we've kind of gone by the branding of DCTF with DCTF Live. And I had more people come up and be like, hey, DCTF Live.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys. And we appreciate really, it makes us feel like we are not famous, okay? And so it's still very cool for us when people come up and say, hey, we listen to your stuff. Because we assume we're doing it for us and our moms.
Yeah, basically.
Okay? Because our wives are ashamed. Our moms have to be proud.